Let us pray as we begin today. Father God, we come before you humbly, concerned about so many things happening around us. But we know that we can trust you and ask for your wisdom and your guidance. There are so many complexities and questions and concerns, yet we know that you can provide the answers. You provide the answers through our friends, through our families, through readings. We ask that you touch us, each one of us, in a way that we know that you are providing answers to those questions that keep us burning the midnight oil. And that those that are suffering pain at this time, we ask that you give them peace and solace. As we begin our program today, bless those that are here and that will speak, that it may be a blessing to each one of us, as usually our programs are. We ask for this in your name. Amen.
Thank you very much. Very well said. All right. Now we get to hear from our mayor. He'll have to unmute though.
Okay, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Paul.
I'm pleased I got all the words right.
Yeah, I'm impressed, honestly. And actually, Paul, this was your request, our patriotic song for the day.
All we've been given by those who came before, the dream of a nation where freedom would endure, the work and prayers of centuries have brought us to this day. What shall be our legacy? What will our children say? Let them say of me, I was one who believed in sharing the blessings I received. Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you. Each generation, from the plains to distant shore, with the gifts they were given, were determined to leave more. Battles fought together, acts of conscience fought alone. These are the seeds from which America has grown. Let them say of me, I was one who believed in sharing blessings that I received. Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you. for those who think they have nothing to share, those who feel in their hearts there is no hero there. No, each quiet act of dignity is that which fortifies the soul of a nation that will never die. Let them say of me, I was one who believed in sharing the blessings that I received. Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you. America, I gave my best to you.
That was beautiful, Paul. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And speaking of sharing, not quite as cute, but this came from Jay Grossman for our welcome screen. So welcome to today's meeting. Our guests, we do have Shannon joining us from the Children's Discovery Museum. I don't know that we have any other guests today. Is there anyone that I'm missing that I'm not aware of?
Krishna Kabra from the Children's Discovery Museum is with us too.
She's actually a member of our club. So
Oh, great. Okay.
we don't actually get to count her as a guest,
Okay.
Unfortunately. But
I'm her guest then.
You're her guest. Yes, thank you very much. And Shannon, you've been with the center or the museum for how long?
Since June of this past year. So going on a year now.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. And thanks
And
for having me.
welcome. Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to this program. So let's see, because we only have one guest, only one person gets to hear this. Everyone else plug your ears. Shannon, you can keep your ears open.
Howdy, we're glad to have you here. Welcome, we sing it loud and clear. Relax, enjoy the program, and won't you come back to see us again?
All right. This is our upcoming calendar for the next month and a half. This Saturday, Ron Smith is hosting another amazing desk building project day. I think the goal is 50, but we'll talk a little bit. Are we talking about this more? If you haven't signed up, you need to. It's a great thing to do. It's an amazing and fun project. Next week, Paul Hagee will be here to talk about healthcare trends for 2021. March 3rd, March 17th, and April 7th is Haven House. I think Kelly actually sent out an email. She's looking for some volunteers for the later dates. On March 9th, we have Mike Strong talking about the East Valley Parkway specific plan. Then Dr. Sabiha Pasha on the 16th on functional medicine specialty. March 20th, this one I do know we're going to talk about a little bit later, is the Veteran Stand Down Clothing Drive. March 23rd, the inimitable Robin Douglas will be joining us. And on the 30th, the very imitable District Governor Steve Weitzen will be joining us. I like to pretend I'm Steve. I say I'm not a lawyer, but I play one in Rotary. On the 6th, we have Blake Stanicky joining us. On the 10th is the District Training Assembly. You can check that out online, sign up. It'll be virtual, so it should be worth going to. All righty. Member moments. Dara, would you like to speak to the member moment for the day?
Sure. I guess I would just like to ask for everybody to keep Rosa Ruiz in their prayers and their thoughts. Collective well wishes are important right now. She has entered hospice. So I spoke with, I texted with her on Saturday. So just a heads up for everyone.
Thank
Who?
you very much. Very sad.
Rosa,
You're kidding me.
no, I
Sure.
wish.
Whoops, one too many slides. Let's start with Christine in the wild.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to add with Rosa, I've been texting her since I made the announcement a few weeks ago, and her doctor has her on heavy pain medication, and she's indicated her cancer has gone to her spine, and she's paralyzed from the waist down. So it could be just a matter of days. So absolutely keep her in your prayers. On happier notes, in the wild, let the shenanigans begin. Look at Paulette and the girls going out to a wonderful time in the desert. So exciting. And then we have the next picture. Oh, well, let's jump
Is that
ahead.
the next picture?
Picture, which is to make sure you always have a little pair of tweezers in your photography bag. So yeah, it's not all fun and games. Look at that. Ouch.
Well, what a lot of people don't know is that jumping choya is heat seeking. If you get close to it, it'll fly to your leg no matter what you do.
Whoa. Yipes.
At
Okay.
least that's what
hopefully
it seems like
Paulette
when
knows
you're
that.
out there, because it comes from nowhere.
Mm-hmm. And the Campbells have something to celebrate. Drive-through honor roll ceremony for their freshman who has a 4.0 and made the honor roll at San Pasqual High School. So congratulations to her and the Campbell family.
Yeah.
The K. Amy celebrated her 81st birthday. She was hoping to be here. I spoke with her on the phone yesterday, but they are going to Palm Desert for their first granddaughter's wedding. So she couldn't be any cuter and said, "Are you going to put this to Rotarians in the wild?" Why, yes, I am. So yeah, it's kind of at her request that we include her today. Happy birthday, Amy.
Happy birthday. And here's one that I don't think you, oops, where'd it go? Oh.
Yeah,
This is actually for Keith. I'm sorry, Christy, I know you'd sent it as Rotarians in the Wild, but Keith has more information.
Of course, yeah. Keith, would you speak to this then?
Sure. I'd like to do that now, Andrew. No. Can't hear you, President Andrew. Can you hear me? Or no?
We can hear you.
Yeah. Can't hear you, Andrew. I don't know if your microphone's coming or going or what. But,
like he's frozen.
I think he is. No?
Go ahead.
Until he thaws out, Keith, you might as well talk about.
Yeah, go ahead, talk.
Yeah, we can hear you.
No, go ahead and fill you in. Well, I did talk to President Andrew a day or two ago and asked if I should make some announcement about this, because you may have seen the news story on Saturday in the paper, or on Sunday in the paper, and then again on the news last night. And so I thought I'd fill you in on a little bit of what I know with some facts rather than some of the opinions and things that seem to be in the news. So I've got lots of questions that started coming in at 6:50 on Sunday morning, believe it or not. And first thing is the faculty and students were all very shocked at the news and didn't know until Sunday, until it came out in the paper, as was I. I didn't know anything until that text message on Sunday morning. So I'm not going to name any names or anything, but I did have a couple of facts to share with you. On Sunday, there was a lot of anger and frustration at the school from the faculty and the staff, and a lot of phone calls and text messages flying on Sunday. By Monday, that had turned into tears of joy, believe it or not, because of the outpouring of support a lot from Rotarians for San Pasquale Academy. And it's worth mentioning that there's 3 clubs, the Coronado Club, La Jolla Golden Triangle, and our club have been strong supporters of the school for many years, as have most of you, I think, contributed in some fashion to the students out there. You know? So the question is, why is all this coming about? And disclaimer, I don't know much about government funding, federal, state, county. Seemed to be a statement in the paper that said that state funds were unavailable. And I've heard that from other members. That seemed to be the interpretation. But then one news article said that federal regulations changed, but San Pasquale Academy was an exception. What I've been told is both state and federal support the academy, but the county has to ask for funding, and they have not asked for it. No? I'll talk about that more in a minute. Also saw in the paper that it was described as a pilot program whose term expired, and that seemed to lead the reader to believe that it was a failure of some sort. And absolutely, it is not. It's described as a pilot program because it's the only one of its kind in the country. No? So it's a pilot because it's first. No? And it's always been described as a pilot program, and it gets funding every 3 years. It reapplies and it gets new funding for a 3-year term. So that's what came up in this cycle, is that 3-year period. No? So other comments about the students. I mentioned that there was declining enrollment. When we started working with the academy, there were 139 students. Today, there's 69 now. So why? I've heard that the county has stopped referring students to the academy. Reasons unknown. No? But then they're talking about these students will be referred back to traditional foster homes. But as many of us know firsthand from speaking with the students, they've been through foster homes before, some of as many as 10 or more different foster homes, and all of them have failed. So that transition back to foster homes is not really a viable option. There was a study done by the UC Davis campus just in October, and I'm happy to send a copy of that to you. It's very lengthy. Anyone that would like a copy, 66 pages long, but very flattering report on everything wonderful that the academy is doing. There's actually a 92% graduation rate at San Pasquale Academy compared to 45% for other foster students. So it's a huge success at San Pasquale Academy. So what's next? My opinion is that it's worth fighting for, and it seems that that's a consensus of a lot of other people that are involved with the academy. There's a meeting going on right now, started at 10 o'clock this morning, with Judge Milliken, who's the retired juvenile court presiding judge who started this program 20 years ago. Ron Roberts is there. I'm not sure who else is there, but they're having a meeting right now to discuss it. So I don't have any news yet, but it's not done yet. And definitely worth fighting for. Students there are incredible. And thank you all for your support over the years. And hopefully that can continue.
What would happen, Keith? What would happen to the 69 students? They have to be adopted out, or?
Well, the comments from the news is that they're transitioned back to traditional foster care, which we know hasn't worked for these students. They've been through that program, many of them, as I said, through 10 different foster homes, and they thrive in the academy environment. So it's a serious problem for those 69 students.
And Fred had a question for you as well.
Yes, sir.
Keith, can we still donate stinky stuff and shampoo this time? Give it to Jay Grossman?
What?
The students are still there. They still need it as much as they did yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Very nice. Whoop. Oh, come on.
Anyone has any other questions, and certainly invite emails, text messages, phone calls, whatever you like. And I should hear news from this meeting 10 o'clock this morning shortly, but it's ongoing.
Good. All right, so we get one more thing here for you, Keith, to talk about.
Yes, veteran stand down. Clothing drive is coming up. You may remember this from prior years. This is an effort by all of the clubs in Escondido. Started out as a small idea a few years ago and blossomed into something that was pretty spectacular the last few years. Stand down is a weekend where veterans in need can come and take a break from life for the weekend. They can get a haircut, see a doctor, see an optometrist, get a hot meal, and clothes. So that's where we come in. Is there'll be a drive-through clothing drop-off in front of City Hall in that little drive-through. right in front of City Hall on March 20th. We'll be there from 8 till 11 o'clock, and then the truck comes at 11 o'clock and picks everything up. So you can see some of the things they've requested, some new items, men's underwear and socks, and women's underwear, sports bras. No? But any clothing, blankets, anything that you've got that you would like to donate, clean out your closet and come down and visit on the 20th of March.
Outstanding. That's a great service project.
And
I
all
love
folks
doing that.
participating is pretty nice to work together with the other clubs on a joint project. Has been very successful.
And then we have a video real quick about this.
Yeah, I'll show you some more about the organization.
My fellow veterans, this is a great event to come to. If you need help, if you need services, if you're struggling financially, there's people here that can help you. There's a way for you to come here and receive food, clothing, whatever it is you happen to need.
And something for you. You know, there might be that attorney you need. Okay, for a homeless court, there might be the clothes. Look at the way you're dressed. You could use some new clothes, and you know they're free. You can get a shower, and you can, you know, like I said, legal aid. You can get housing if you're a veteran. You know, there's lots of benefits. Something there that will benefit you. You got a pet, you go because they take care of your pet for you. They do a lot of things here for us.
The people here make me feel whole.
You know, we're doing everything here, making the glasses, we're edging them and dispensing them same day.
My Marine brothers and sisters that really helped me out and helped me get back on my feet and just gave me a chance, you know.
Anybody that's a vet will understand that we're battle buddies that are trying to help each other out. Come here, get the help, make yourself a new life. Tomorrow's a new day. Make it happen for yourself. We're here for you.
Great program. And again, we're doing this on the 20th of March to collect the clothing for that project. And I really strongly encourage everyone to just come out, make a difference. Let's see here. All right, our Rotarian of the Month for February. And this was changed at the last minute by me. So I'm not going to do a lot of build up to it, but I wanted to make Rosa our Rotarian of the Month. She is the epitome of Rotary. Always energetic, always happy, always reaching out, whether it was at Haven House or the food bank at San Pasquale. I go through pictures. Doing the talent show. Rosa has always just been the person that most that says Rotary to me more than almost anybody in this club, with the exception of course, myself. But I truly, this is a person we should all strive to be. and she definitely has done a lot for our club and has made a big difference in a lot of people's lives throughout this community. And definitely, it's an honor to know Rosa for me. So I'll move on to our fun song, Mr. J. Grossman. Let me mute everybody because I know you want me to do that. Let's see, where are we? Where are we? Participants. And mute all. All right. Now, Jay, you can go ahead and unmute yourself now.
Okay. Here we go.
All right. Here we go. This is to the song, the tune of Wild Thing.
No, it's not. Here we go. If you've had a child that seemed to be wild and didn't know how to please them, just get in your car, won't have to drive far, and go to the Children's Museum. Krishna and Shannon are there to help your child be aware of all the neat things the museum brings and show kids that they really care. Ta-da!
Yay, very nice. Tara, you are introducing our speakers.
I am. So Krishna Kabra is the executive director of the San Diego Children's Discovery Museum. It's an organization with a mission to inspire children to learn about our world through exploration, imagination, and experimentation. She recently joined the world of nonprofits after 22 years of experience in the corporate world, working specifically in vision-led innovation and brand strategy. As part of two large agencies, Symptom One Group and the Value Engineers, she has worked on some of the world's biggest and fastest growing brands. She holds a deep passion for early childhood STEAM, entrepreneurship, and understands what it takes to sustainably grow an organization towards an inspiring vision. She holds a BSc in Management Sciences from the University of Manchester and an MSc in International Politics from the University of Bristol, both in the UK. We have a second speaker joining Krishna, Shannon Fowler, and she's the marketing director for the Children's Discovery Museum. Shannon is an experienced museum professional with 10 years in the industry. She has served as director of marketing since June of 2020, overseeing all aspects of marketing, communications, public relations, and brand identity. Shannon earned her BA in history from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and her MA in museum studies from the George Washington University. Please join me in welcoming Shannon and Krishna.
Shannon, I have given you control of the slideshow.
I love the.
Great.
I don't think I'm ever gonna be introduced with a song like that.
No, that was beautiful. I don't know that we'll ever top that again in terms of introductions. Thank you for that. Let me see. Andrew tells me that I can control the screen, so let me just test it. Andrew, should it be letting me click through slides?
Go down to the lower left-hand corner. You'll see there's some buttons.
Looking.
Do you see it down there in the lower left?
I don't see anything that says.
Okay. It's just, there's just a forward button right there. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me, nope, you got it. I saw your mouse move my mouse.
Oh,
so.
you did? Okay.
Yep,
There
there
we
you go.
go. Okay. Well, you've already met us. Thank you, Dara, for sharing our professional experience. I don't think we'll bore you with sharing that all over again. But we would like to just broadly introduce you to the museum team. Krishna will do that.
Yeah, so thank you for having us today. We do have a series of slides just to kind of, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the museum, but we've had several changes in terms of staff, and we're on an exciting new trajectory, which I'd love to tell you more about shortly. Shannon is my chief of staff. Like, I can't do anything without her help. I also have two other directors, and we have a fairly substantial team. We still have a bunch of staff that have been furloughed because of COVID. And at no point in my career did I ever dream that I would be at the helm of a children's museum in the middle of a global pandemic. So, but you know, here we are. Next slide. We have an eminent and esteemed group of board of directors. Our board chair is an Escondido resident, Kim Bergsma. And at the moment, we are looking to grow our board, but I'll share more about that shortly. So as you all know, the mission of the organization is to inspire children to learn about the world through exploration, imagination, and experimentation. And if you have been by the museum or plan to go past the museum, you'll see we have a new mural, which looks fabulous, thanks to Shannon's team. Unfortunately, as of right now, our doors are still closed, but I'll share a little bit about our reopening plans in a few slides. The vision of the organization is to be a model community children's museum and provide authentic, hands-on learning experiences that develop the whole child, lifelong learners, change agents, and global citizens. I think one of the central tenets of the museum is to provide that very authentic, hands-on, experiential-led learning experiences for the kids, right? And we certainly miss having the children on site. So, you know, hopefully it won't be too long before they come back to visit us. Three central tenets lie at the heart of what the museum does. The first is access for all. We truly believe that all children have a right to enrichment and education. We believe in purposeful play. And to the point I was just making is the whole piece around experiential, authentic, hands-on learning. So those are the central tenets of the museum. You know, access for all for us is really, really important to be able to provide kids of from all different types of communities the same and equal chance to experience education and enrichment. We serve children up to 10 with programming that revolves around sort of science, world culture, art, and our space in total is about 13,500 square feet. Our outside space, our outside discovery garden and play garden, our outside discovery and play garden is about 7,500 square feet, and the inside main exhibit hall is 6,000 square feet. So we're not that big, but some of you might remember us when we were at the Center of Arts. So we've come a long way since then. And last year we turned 20. So the organization is now 20 years old.
So some of the main highlights in our 20-year history from our founding in 1999 to 2011, when we changed our name to San Diego Children's Discovery Museum and moved to our current location at 320 North Broadway. In 2015, we launched our Mobile Children's Museum program, which saw us purchase Sprinter vans and create mobile versions of our on-site experiences that enabled us to then take the museum experience anywhere in San Diego County, so that our outreach was even greater than the number of people we could have on site. In 2016, we began our formal relationship with the Escondido Union School District when we first began to provide workshops to certain grade levels of their schools. In 2017 is when we launched the Access for All initiative in collaboration with the Association of Children's Museums and the Institute of Museums and Library Services. Krishna shared more about that earlier. And then in 2020, the year that none of us saw coming with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, our team very creatively and innovatively pivoted and adapted once the museum had to shut its doors to launch a robust slate of virtual programs and workshops, which have allowed us to continue serving our mission and also serve not only our local community in San Diego County, but we've been able to connect with people outside of San Diego, which we'll share more of in just a little bit.
Just very quickly, quick financial overview. As you can imagine, we've lost all of our earned revenue, like practically all of it, since our doors shuttered March 13th of last year. And we've been sustaining ourselves on two things, basically contributed revenue in two forms. So either by individual donation or by grant funds. So, given, I think, the adversities that so many of the nonprofits in San Diego have faced, I think given the funds that we have used them very efficiently, I'd say, particularly in terms of pivoting so that we can still serve our mission, still see kids and families and schools in a way that continues to serve our mission. So there have been many children's museums nationally who have simply closed down completely. And I think we take a lot of pride in the fact that we've pivoted innovatively, to Shannon's point, and we're kind of functioning on fairly rudimentary funds, I'd say. Most of our funding has come from, of course, we had the first round of PPP. We've applied for the second round of PPP. We haven't quite received that yet. It's in process. And we've received about 65,000 in terms of additional COVID-related grants. And these grant monies are really important because essentially they're unrestricted funds, which basically means that they allow us to pay for our staff and for our general operating expenses. So they're not funds that are specifically allocated to programs. And unrestricted funds allow us to just function, just to like be functioning. I wanted to give you guys a sense of the repertoire of foundations and organizations that contribute to us serving the Escondido School District. So you can see that there's a vast number of, or range at least, of different types of organizations that range from sort of the Rotary Foundation, like the Rotary, like you folks, but then also we have some corporate funders too. And we basically patchwork and cobble together funds to be able to see kids from kindergarten all the way through to third grade in Escondido. And we provide a tremendous amount of support to school districts. We have a fantastic relationship with the school districts, and particularly during these really difficult times where teachers are struggling, we're able to integrate our programming into their overall school schedule to support them with STEM and art virtual workshops.
So these virtual programs that we're speaking of, last March when the museum had to shut its doors, it really left us with the question of how do we continue serving our mission and meeting the needs of our community in a digital world. We hadn't previously offered virtual programming as an institution. Our museum experience was restricted to on-site at the museum, and again, our mobile museum experience. So it was really new territory for our team to be exploring. And speaking as somebody who came onto the team a few months after all of this had started, I was incredibly blown away by my colleagues, just the dedication and the passion that they put into making these programs happen and so quickly so that they can continue serving the children. And so we were left with the question of how to adapt the idea of purposeful play when you're doing a virtual program via the screen. And so the way our education team went about that was to develop activities that really emphasized movement and play, but were sort of still under the umbrella of the topics that would be explored at the museum, including art, STEM, reading, world culture activities. And so these activities sort of took different forms. We offer daily videos on our social media and blogs as well on our website. Those programs are free for anybody. And we, again, post almost daily these programs. And the idea of offering free programming was to really still commit to our Access for All initiative, even in a virtual format. And so it was important to us to have free programming and to also have the activities incorporate common household or recyclable goods that would be easily found and accessible for children who were participating. So it was important to us to not have any materials that were expensive or specialty, because that would in its own nature be exclusionary to some of the children that we serve. And so the purposeful play, again, we incorporate movement, self-directed, open-ended activities that allow children to still use their imaginations and explore. And we're still stewarding their innate sense of curiosity and creativity through these programs, even though we're not physically there with them. And so the other piece of that, since we moved to solely a virtual format, is trying to address bridging the digital divide. A common issue that has come to the forefront during the pandemic is that many people do not have reliable or any access to technology and internet. And so for these free programs that we offer solely on social media, we wanted to still find a way to have physical activities that we could put out into the community for folks who maybe don't have the same tech access as others. And so we were able to partner with the San Diego City Libraries, as well as the Oceanside Public Libraries, to distribute hands-on activity kits that our museum education team custom curated, but they're available for free throughout the county through these library systems. These kits are associated with our Roots series of events, which celebrate cultures found here in San Diego. And so we were really excited to be able to form these new partnerships in order to reach as many children and families as we possibly could during this time. And so measuring our impact, as you can see through the library partnerships, our virtual school workshops that we're offering to the Escondido Union School District, as well as a few others, and our seasonal virtual camps that we offered, we've served over 5,000 children who we otherwise would not have been able to serve if we had simply shut our doors and not put forth any programming during the shutdown. In addition, although we have previously welcomed over 170,000 annual visitors to the museum itself, through our virtual programming since this past summer, we have been able to reach over 700,000 people, people who have engaged with our online videos. And so exponentially, we've been able to reach so many new people, people who maybe had never heard of the Children's Museum before. Of course, those who have and who have visited us in the past and are still staying engaged with us. But again, we're able to serve people not just within our local San Diego community, but people in other communities throughout the United States. We've had campers from as far away as Dana Point in Orange County to places in Arizona and even New Hampshire. And we have people engaging with our online free activities from other countries as well, including England, Luxembourg, India, the Philippines, and more. So through these virtual programs, we've really been able to put our gem of an Escondido Community Museum on the map for people who have never been to our site physically. And so that sort of feeds into mine and my team's work, is how do we continue to promote and build the reputation of the Children's Discovery Museum. And so our strategic priorities over the past year and moving into the next is to really expand the museum's reach and its brand visibility and reputation. And so, as I mentioned, we've been doing that through our virtual programming, building new audiences, both locally and beyond. And we've also been working to serve our parents and caretakers who are part of our community, not solely providing programming just to the children, but creating resources for parents and caretakers so that they see us as a support system for them, and again, a resource. And we've done that through our Parenting on the Go virtual workshop series. We've also been developing new partnerships. Aside from the libraries that I mentioned, we've been partnering with local businesses like Jimbo's, local restaurants, local martial arts academies for certain special events that we're putting on. So we're able to broaden our reach through these community partnerships because we can cross promote and reach those organizations' followings and audiences as well. We have been working to elevate the museum through professional speaking opportunities. I'm very pleased to share that we have been accepted to 3 conferences in the spring a local steam power education conference here in San Diego, as well as the California Association of Museums virtual conference and the US Play Coalition's virtual conference, all happening in the spring. We continue to develop integrated marketing and communication strategies that get the most bang for our buck when right now, especially, our resources are very limited. And so we're strategically looking at ways to use our owned media, our website, our social media, our email, as well as earned media through PR to share the work that we're doing and to build our audience. Oops, my mouse went a little crazy, a little far ahead. I'm not sure how to go back. Here we go. Sorry about that. And so even though we're closed, we want to remind people that we are a museum experience, a hands-on experience for children. And so we are using all available means to use emotional and experiential advertising to remind people of that experience and how it's also infused in our virtual programming.
I'm going to go at pace because I'm just conscious of time. So strategic planning. So as Mayor Mack will know, because he's on the strategic planning committee, we have embarked on a very exciting strategic planning process. And we're probably about 40% of the way through, I'd say. And I think this is the first comprehensive, fulsome strategic planning initiative that the museum has ever gone through in 20 years. So we're at a very, very exciting time in the museum's history. Why now? Well, partly because, quite frankly, we got it funded, so that was great. But also, I think a lot of organizations have had a moment to hit pause and do some, you know, do some sort of experience, do some existential thinking about, you know, we're serving our mission in the ways that we can right now. But once we come out of the pandemic, how do we want to continue to serve our mission? And how do we want to strategically and sustainably grow? So that was kind of the thought process behind it. We are looking to revisit our mission and vision, and also identify key strategic imperatives that sit below the mission and vision. So we'll be very clear for the next 5 to 7 years about how the museum is going to grow. We have a very diverse team in terms of our strategic planning committee, and it was purposefully diverse. So we have board members, employees, donors, city officials like Paul, and even some folks that are experienced within the world of education. So Paul Eichen, who runs KidSpark here in San Diego, is a STEM expert. So it's fantastic. We actually have a really good group of people, good in terms of experiences, but also in terms of size. And we've been able to leverage everybody's expertise to the best of our ability. We're working with Robin Keith, who's the consultant for this process. Robin heralds from the San Diego Zoo Global. She's a strategist, and she's guiding us through this process. So challenges. Every organization can tell a great story about what they do and how they serve their mission. But I also wanted to take a minute to pause and actually share some of the challenges we face. And I welcome all your questions, feedbacks, thoughts, ideas, and any support that you have. But essentially, they kind of fall into 4 buckets, right? From a governance standpoint, like I mentioned earlier, we're actively looking to diversify our board. And the reason for that is to be able to bring in expertise, right? So from the world of early childhood education, fundraising, innovation, and to be able to grow in size. So historically, the museum has had a very small board of directors. And I think it's time now for us to grow in size and grow in terms of expertise. Operationally, we're also looking to reopen in the spring, which feels pretty aggressive, but it's also, I think, we've heard very recently about some of the other organizations in San Diego who are opening their outdoor space, which is kind of what we plan to do, is simply open the outdoor garden so we can keep children safe. And as we come out of the pandemic, how do we leverage what we do on site, what we offer on our website, and what we offer through mobile, and making sure that the experience is cohesive and that it makes sense. definitely looking to grow the team, no doubt about that. Bring in some digital expertise to be able to grow the digital offering. And to Shannon's point, almost play out sort of what I call, what I describe as being the supermoon strategy, which is essentially to appear larger in our own industry than we actually are. So those speaking events that she was talking about are exactly the kind of things that are opportunities that we're looking for to increase our footprint nationally. In terms of strategy, I'd say just being able to pivot into what the strategic planning process reveals to us in a very authentic way, and what feels like it's honors the legacy of the museum, but also builds a pathway towards growth. And then financial. I mean, every nonprofit in the last year has had financial strain, has experienced financial challenges. And for us, it's those unrestricted funds that go towards paying our staff and paying our bills that we are in desperate need of. We are a community museum ultimately, right? And it does take the community to come together to support us. So I ask you that, if you do feel inclined to support us, please do. We are kind of in this very odd situation of building towards growth, but having to survive in the short term, which is really, really challenging. And I think that's it. So I just wanted to allow some time for questions that I'm sure you have, and apologies for going at breakneck speed through the slide deck.
You did beautifully. You did beautifully. So do we have any questions? I'm going to take away the control here, just so you know. But who has questions? Yes, Jay Grossman.
I have a couple. Does it cost anything when you are open for the parents when they bring their kids in, or is you totally reliable on donations?
No, we have membership options, but we also have admission fees. They're heavily discounted though, particularly because we believe in this access for all. And then if they are families that are under financial duress, then we have a special rate for them. We have special rates for military families also. And so we have sort of a graded membership options and admission fees.
And parents come with the child, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What other questions do we have for Krishna and Shannon?
Yeah, hi, this is Roy Hendrickson. Hi, ladies. I have a question for you. I know private schools have had kids in the classroom for quite a while now, even with the pandemic. And being a privately funded organization, do you have any reason why you wouldn't bring kids back into the facility now?
So yes, my kids are at private school, so I am completely aware of what you're sharing. My son is at a private school where they have applied for a waiver and the kids are outside. So they're participating in outside school. And my daughter is on campus 50% of the time. The reason why we've hesitated is because our children are particularly young, so they tend to be kind of the 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old kids is the first reason. The second reason is the very notion of the museum and what we share is please touch, right? So use your hands, play around with things. And I think that it requires a very thoughtful planning process to be able to allow kids still to do that, but in a safe environment. So the first phase of our reopening is in our outside garden, so that the kids will have their tangibles, but in a pack that they will walk around with and not share with any other child. And then they'll be disinfected, and then the second round of kids will come in and have their own play packs. So even when we do reopen, it's in a fairly controlled and safe way, because that's also what the schools are doing too. So in Escondido School District, they have students in cohorts and socially distanced and wearing their masks. And those are the young kids in the school district.
I have a question.
Yes, Joe.
Yes, my question is in regard to music. Are you providing any musical training or activities that are particularly related to music, or do you have any plans to do such a thing?
I'll let Shannon answer.
We do. So the daily activity videos that we share on our social media pages, we have a subtopic called rhythm and movement. And so it does focus on dance and music. Even yoga has been incorporated into some of it as a way to get children up and moving. We do not provide formal lessons, but it's more, again, play-based and getting children excited. We've also, for our Root series, when we partner with some local organizations or individuals, some of it has involved music. So Roots Japan, which we had in October, we partnered with a local taiko drumming group to give a demonstration. And then in our most recent February event of Roots Thailand, we partnered with a local Thai musician who sang songs and played traditional Thai instruments.
So we had 3 comments in here that I want to share real quick. Dan Sundquist is bragging on what a great place it is to take his grandchildren and how much they remember going there. Also that he loves the gift shop. Apparently they have a lot of knee braces in the gift shop. Sarah says, my kids loved the museum when they were younger. And Christine talks about how she spent many wonderful days there. And I know the couple of times I've been there, not with kids, but for fundraisers and other events. It is such an amazing, I was trying to get really short so I would look like I was a kid and I could go in and play, but I got caught. So, but it is an amazing, I mean, you guys do work that is hard to find out there. And I'm so proud of you for working so hard to make it accessible to everybody. And I know there's a lot of, Dan wants to know if I played with the floating scarves, not with other people around. No. But seriously, I know a lot of Rotarians are members there and go there and bring their kids and grandkids there. And it's a great part of our community. And we thank you for your program. And we also thank you for being there, even in the middle of a pandemic, and finding a way, really, truly innovative ways to bring this to everybody. So thank you.
And I also just would like to share really quickly that we are doing some really quick and dirty pieces of research to find out people's comfort levels with regards to coming back, right? There's no point us putting out this effort in if people aren't comfortable. And we're finding roughly about 70% of parents think that they might be ready by the spring. And I guess the last thing I would also say is that unlike the New Children's Museum, we've offered so much free programming throughout this pandemic that honestly, one should be really proud of the museum for still continuing to serve the mission in the way that we have without monetizing it necessarily, right? Or without looking to, fill in the gap of earned revenue. I think we take a lot of pride in the fact that we have provided support to almost 3 times as many kids virtually as we would have done if we closed our doors. So we're feeling pretty proud of ourselves, and we're very excited about the road ahead.
And rightfully so, rightfully so. So Christine, I don't know if you saw, Christine had asked if we could have your email, Christian. I just directed her to, we have it in DACDB. So that's so that we don't have to share this over. Oh, well, there you go. Okay. That's fine. Perfect. I just didn't know, because this is going to be publicly put onto Facebook and YouTube as well. So, all right. Beautiful. So let us close out the meeting formally, and I'll leave this open afterwards. Here's our shower thought for the week. We spend our adult lives working hard. Whoops, I've got to be able to see this. You wouldn't know that I didn't post this. So working hard to create a better world for our children to live in, then in our old age complain that kids these days, they just have it too easy. And with that, we'll ring out, okay, maybe. There, come on. Oh, I have to adjust everything, don't I? There we go. Ring it out. Have a great weekend and have a great week. Look forward to seeing you all next week. And yes, Jackie, you're right. DAC-DB is hard to navigate. So, all right. Have a good one, folks. I will leave this open if anyone wants to chat, and we will see you all then.
See you guys.
Bye, Aussie.
Bye, Ozzy.